I mean, 2 weeks. I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote?
I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
I voted for Trump, and I regret it now.
As a Hispanic, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Dude, I regret it so much, man.
I am regretting not voting for Donald Trump.
I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret it.
A lot of people who were like me voted for Trump and have to account for that.
I regret voting for Trump.
So deeply regret my vote for Donald Trump.
I regret voting for Trump.
I was a dumbass, voted for Trump. It was the worst decision I ever made.
I've seen the light, and I got out of MAGA. A lot of us there have seen the light. We have deep regrets.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible. That's why he's still running.
I was with Trump for 9 straight years. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Trump right now.
Who did you vote for president?
Mr. Trump.
Right?
Trump.
Mr. Trump.
If the election were today, Frank, would you vote for Donald Trump?
No way. Couldn't happen.
No.
You voted for President Trump. So now, in this moment, you say you're in a free fall. What is your message to him?
So I'm off the Trump train. Where I'm going for now is I got to protect my business.
And a wheat farmer who says he's lost $400,000 since Trump took office.
I think there was a lot of people who voted for him that want to stay loyal to him, but it's going to get to the point where financially, if it's between supporting the president or losing your family farm.
You voted for the president?
Yes, I did.
And do you support these policies which might be hurting farmers like you?
Right now, we're the ones that are taking the hit.
I think he's sort of backstabbing the main people who got him into office in the Midwest, and he just left us down.
I wanted to start off by saying I did vote for Donald Trump. We are possibly going to lose our farm if NRCS doesn't hold up their contract with us on the EQIP program. So the reason that they're not able to hold up the contract is our EQIP program, which is cost sharing on fences, waters, a well, and some seedings, was funded by the Inflation Reduction Act. Because of the executive orders, there's a pause or a freeze on the funding through the Inflation Reduction Act, and they're not able to pay out on the stuff that we completed or anything going forward. I'm not the only one this is affecting. So there are other farmers in the comments saying that they're in the same boat that I'm in because they signed these contracts, and the contracts, even like, so whenever I looked into the contract, I made sure that that funding was set aside. It wasn't funding that, oh, we hope it's there whenever it's done. I made sure that that funding was set aside so that way before I made these business decisions, I knew that funding was there per contract. So they're backing out on the contract because they don't have the funding. They can't release the funds. I need your help to save my farm and many other farms.
This farmer right here is a Trump voter who just found out that money he put into a program that he was told he was going to get back from the government has disappeared because of Trump's executive orders. He doesn't know when he's going to get the money. And if he doesn't get the money, he will lose his farm, is what he said. And I have a response from a Republican congressman when shown his problem that is absolutely abysmal. All that coming out. First off, look at how excited this man is when he found out that he was approved for a government grant that would provide him the money he needs to invest in his farm. This is what the government is for. This is what the government is for. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are destroying this, but this is what it's about, helping people get ahead.
Hell yeah! $25,000. We got water up here finally, so no more water trailers up here. We're gonna freaking water the cows automatically. We ordered the 13 waters to go across the farm and couldn't be more excited. Luckily, the NRCS is paying a portion of this on cost sharing, so we don't have to pay for the whole thing, but we still have like $10,000 out of pocket on this well, so that really sucks. But we're out here pretty good ways off the road and $25,000 pumping water at the top of the hill. Like I said before, if you guys have any questions on that cost sharing with NRCS, please let me know. I am happy to help. I'm happy to spread the word on it. They're not allowed to advertise it. That's part of the deal. So if you guys have any questions on it, please let me know. They are giving us $240,000 worth of cost sharing on putting 40,000 feet of fence out on our property. We're putting a well in. We're putting 13 waters in. We're doing some seedings out here with some warm season grasses. But if you guys are interested in doing any of this on your place, it's a federal program. You don't have to have it in certain states. You can do it on the state side also, but this one that I'm talking about is federal.
So Nebraska MAGA farmers regret their vote for Trump. These people believed in a fairy tale that's now becoming a nightmare to them. You won't believe it, but they deserve it. You know, they're being treated the very way they voted for other people to be treated. Is the way they are being treated. Check this. This is karma at its best. And let me remind you one thing. There is consequences for stupidity. They're about to learn that.
Regarding all these farmers that are now crying about possibly losing their farms because they voted for Trump, this is why you absolutely should not feel bad for any of these farmers that voted for Trump. Now, the ones that didn't vote, yes, feel sorry for them, go support them, do whatever you need to do. But the ones that voted for Trump, do not feel sorry for them, and let me tell you why. I am a builder, and I've been building shit in Oklahoma City going on like 20 years now, and farmers are not stupid. If you have the ability to manage a farm and understand the weather, the climate, your machinery, the chemistry that goes into your crops, you are not a stupid person. You're just not. And especially when you come from generational farming, you have the ability to look ahead and predict what you need to survive. And so when you have two candidates, where you have Kamala Harris on one side giving you a whole list of that she's going to do for you and make your life better, and then you have Trump on the other side who can't even come out with a normal sounding sentence, and you still vote for that guy, and you are a farmer, you are either racist or sexist or both. And they're only crying now because now they are being treated exactly how they voted for other people to be treated. Got that? They are being treated how they voted for other minorities, people of color, everybody else, poor people, sick people. That's how they voted for other people to be treated. And now they're the ones being treated that way by losing their livelihood, their homes, their income, their farms. So do not feel sorry for them. This is exactly what they had coming. Quick follow-up as to why exactly would Trump be doing this to farmers anyways, and I'm guessing 99% chance it's because he wants to bankrupt farms so his corporate buddies can come in and do a land grab. Basically what you have been seeing the last few years, major companies buying up a bunch of rental houses and jacking up the price of rents, and it's all going to corporations. It's probably something similar to let these farms go to foreclosure and his corporate buddies be able to come in, swoop them up, and now you've got bigger companies involved in more of our day-to-day food.
Okay, so yesterday I made a video, Minnie Mouse and I made a video about a woman who is a Republican and she voted for Donald Trump, and she made this really great apology letter and created a video on it. And I've gotten so many comments, so I want to address a few things. First and foremost, let me say, I still do not trust any person that voted for Donald Trump. But I am happy to see that some people are humbling themselves and apologizing and doing the first steps into bridging the gap between the left and the right. Now, I know that there are plenty of MAGA supporters that still are on the MAGA train, and what I say to them is a big F you. There are others that now are saying they regret their vote because it has directly affected them, and that's the only reason why they care, and I say a big F you to them as well. And I'll be honest, it is not enough for you just to apologize and say, oh, I screwed up, because you did ignore everything that was told to you, and that is on you and that's your fault. So the people that are saying they regret their vote, I want to see you calling your representatives. I want to see you making posts every single day about how you regret your vote and what you're doing to rectify your mistake. Because it's not enough. It's really not enough to just say you're sorry and then do nothing about it. And I think that's if people didn't watch the whole video, because at the very end of the video, that's what I said. I said it's very important for you to understand that you have to call your Congress members. You have to be speaking out every single day because you caused this havoc. Okay, all my love.
People effed around and now they're finding out. And no group of people is going to find out more quickly than farmers, because they're really going to get screwed. With the cutting of this USAID program, they're really going to get hit hard, because what was that program, or is that program, that is not being operated as it's supposed to be because of Donald Trump giving complete control of the federal government to the billionaire who bought him, Elon Musk. Anyways, what was the purpose of that? The purpose was to provide humanitarian relief around the world. And a big part of that was providing food to desperate people around the world. And what we did through that program is purchase a lot of agricultural products produced by American farmers and then distribute those products around the world. Now that money is being withheld illegally, but it's being withheld, and farmers are not getting paid, and their products, their agricultural products, are no longer being purchased by the federal government. I saw a guy, you've probably seen this, it's gone viral, some MAGA farmer complaining about how all these contracts he had to sell hundreds of thousands of dollars of agricultural products to the federal government, that's all being cut now. And he's out hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he specifically starts the video by saying he voted for Donald Trump. And he doesn't take that back, by the way. Apparently, he's still a Trump supporter. And then he goes on to explain how all of these contracts, all this money he was getting, was through the Inflation Reduction Act passed by Joe Biden. And so he's benefiting greatly from Joe Biden's policies. So what does he do? He votes for Donald Trump. Donald Trump promptly kills all of that. He's out hundreds of thousands of dollars, yet he can't bring himself to say that he made a mistake in voting for Donald Trump. The man is losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he still can't admit that he made a mistake. These friggin' MAGAs, I'm sorry, I'm going to enjoy people like this guy losing everything. There's consequences for stupidity, and they're going to learn that.
So I'm seeing a lot of people being confused about how, Nebraskans and people in agricultural communities can be voting against their own interests. And I have a lot of experience with these people. I'm related to them. And obviously when I talk about them, I don't mean all farmers and I don't mean all the people in these states. But in my experience, the farmers have been living a fairy tale for many generations. They have been told by the government and by our own society, that they're extremely valuable, which they are, but that they are self-made men and that they exist in a vacuum and that we would be lost without them. And most weird, that they don't receive any kind of assistance, that they're self-made, which is a fairy tale. They receive a lot of assistance, but this is the story they've been telling themselves. This is a story that the government has been telling them. And this is the story that they've passed on to their children and their children's children, because they want to glamorize. They want to make what they're doing idyllic. They don't want their kids to leave the farm. They don't want their kids to go to the big city. They want them to stay and they want them to keep the farm. So their kids and their kids and their kids have all been raised with this idea that as farmers, they are heroic. They are, the backbone of America, even though at this point, the backbone of America, if it's farmers, then it's completely made out of fabricated steel and been replaced by a neurosurgeon 30 times. They don't see that. So they don't understand. When you live in a fairy tale your whole life, and when you've been raised in a fairy tale, and when your father was raised in a fairy tale, you don't use critical thinking skills. You don't analyze what you're doing. You just keep going with the fairy tale. And you don't choose a political candidate that forces you to think. You choose the political candidate that encourages you to stay in the fairy tale. So that's how they keep voting for the bad people. That's how they keep voting against their own interests, because they're in a fairy tale. They're so enmeshed in it that they don't want somebody waking them up. They want somebody who's going to keep them asleep. And unfortunately, they're going to have to wake up sometime.
Hey there, MAGA regret. It is really, really happening. And I grew up in rural Iowa, just 1 hour away from Omaha, Nebraska. Both of my children live in Nebraska. Most of my family are in Nebraska right now. And so this is a really big deal for me. But you guys voted for this. And I don't want to go through the whole thing that everybody else is doing. What I want to talk about is decency. So when I grew up, and probably the same thing for boomers, if you broke something, you made up for it. So say you go borrow your neighbor's ladder and it breaks. You go buy them a new ladder, your wife bakes them a cake or a pie, and you express your sorry, several times and you feel bad. So now your vote, because you did not pay attention the last time or read Project 2025 or anything to point you in the right direction and show you what exactly was going to happen, this is the vote that you made. And so I see many of you coming on here crying fake little tears, but I have zero sympathy for you, because what are you actually doing now? Are you protesting in any way? What are you doing besides trying to get other people to feel bad for you? It's going to require action, and it's going to require you to really go out and mobilize and make a difference now, because you are the one who did the thing. It was you. You made the vote. It's affecting you now, just like it affects the rest of us. So what are you going to do? I'm really anxious to hear what you're going to do to make up for it. We are not the ones that did this. So again, how are you going to make it right? The people in the Midwest it's very, very important to make up for your wrong. So what are you doing to make up for your wrong? Write it down. What action, what mobilization are you doing? This is really the only answer now. I don't want to hear any more tears or any more bullshit. What are you doing?
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blocks. See you in the next video.